Hi, so we're back here with Can Be Well for Men's Health. We're talking to Greg Webb. He is a board member of Can Be Well, and I am the uh, editor for the Connect newsletter. And so Craig is um, a Touch for Health instructor for over 25 years and a registered massage therapist for over 30 years, or going on 30 years this year, and also an instructor for other modalities, and has an extensive library of information locked in his brain. And so we're going to be talking to him about emotional stress release and some of the men's issues that men are facing today. So why don't you take it away, Greg?
Thanks, Yolanda.
Yeah.
Stress release? Nobody needs stress release these days, right? It's kind of funny because I don't want to start the story. Well, stress is nothing really new. I mean, there's been stress for as long as we have been a species of one kind or another. And there's stress that's beneficial because it encourages you to go and do something at a better rate. And then there's stress that's not beneficial because it's worrisome, or it's troublesome, or it occupies your mind. And kind of funny, most of us have had something happen at some point in time in our life where it's just this big item, and chances are it's somebody else said, I can't believe that son of a gun did such and such about so and so, and boy, oh boy, I'm telling you. Well, or whatever the case may be. For myself personally, a lot of the frustrations have been computer related. Or it'll just like suddenly do something and it'll crash mid big project that's not saved, and I'll just sort of break down in tears, put my head on the table. But it doesn't matter. Okay, so watch that. What did I do? I just put my hand on my forehead. That's
Yeah,
such a
you did.
natural response, isn't it? It's like
Yeah.
people that haven't even taken a touch for health class yet know to put their hand on the forehead. Why is that? It's a natural reflex for us to reach for our forehead when we're stressed. There's a reason for that. On the forehead, right about here, right above the center of the eyes, about halfway between the eyebrows and the hairline. There's a couple little acupuncture points there, which are actually blood flow stimulation reflexes to the frontal lobes of your brain. Why is that important? It's the frontal lobes of your brain where you do your clear thinking. I am calm. I'm peaceful. I can see a solution to this. However, when we're stressed, the door is closed to the frontal lobes of your brain. There's a padlock thrown on it. And the more stressed you are, the greater difficulty you have logicking your way out of a wet paper bag with a hand grenade and a machete. You just simply respond out of emotion and survival. The more stressed you are, the less capable you are of solving the issue you're in. It doesn't matter if you're a little kid, going to school, a teenager, what age you are. We all have experiences that come to mind, men or women. Since this is men's health, I'll talk a little bit about guys for a second. As a guy, I can talk about guys. So, men, there's quote, quote, roles in life. And one is supposed to be, oh, you're supposed to be tough. You're not supposed to talk about those things. We'll just bottle it up inside. Well, bottle it up inside doesn't work very good, folks, because every time you have a thought combined with a feeling, you're creating chemistry with a postal code. And the entire body, every organ, every gland, every body region is a postal code that loves to get some mail. Well, everybody loves to get a little bit of mail in the mailbox. But when you have any particular topic that's conjuring up any specific repeated thought pattern or repeated feeling pattern, now what you're doing is you're creating an overload, a nonstop junk mail dispenser out of your brain to a body region with a postal code that's overloading that body part with junk mail. And one of the courses that's taught under the Touch for Health umbrella, a little course called Stress Release Made Easy, little half day, no, 1 day workshop. But in the back is a lovely paragraph, and it's a quote from, oh gosh, 1960s research, something like that. But a fellow was doing experiments in a laboratory where he was collecting the condensate of human breath as people were watching comedy or horror or experiencing things that would cause anger or jealousy. And again, he's collecting the condensate of the breath. And what surprised him and really caught his attention was that the condensate had different colors depending upon the emotion. And then upon chemical analysis, found out that the chemistry of the condensate was completely different depending upon what the experience was that the person was having. They found that joy, love, and laughter you end up producing in your own body the pharmacology that produces some of the most powerful and potent healing compounds known to mankind. And 5 minutes worth of jealousy, 5 minutes worth of jealousy created enough exhaled condensate concentration to kill a guinea pig. 5 minutes of jealousy.
Oh, that is
1 hour
crazy.
of big anger and hatred created enough exhaled toxicity to kill 80 guinea pigs. So imagine what that's doing inside of your body, right? So there's lots of opportunities for different emotions, and emotions are all good. There's not a bad emotion in the world. The reason we have emotions is so we have the energy and the feeling and the oomph to go do something about it, right? But what it's not supportive is when we get stuck in an emotion. That's when it's non-beneficial, because it does nothing but occupy your entire brain. You can't think of anything else. It toxifies your body. And the reason we go like this is because it's beneficial. Okay, so there's reflexes on the forehead, right near the hairline. These ones are for the stomach, the brain, the bladder, a few other organs. One's up here for the liver, and there's one up here for the brain, the lungs, and gallbladder. And it's interesting, straight in from this top of the head spot is a brain region called the anterior cingulate gyrus, which gives us the ability to stay single-pointed focused. Well, sometimes it's nice to stay single-pointed focused on a positive topic, but when it's a stressful topic, not so much. So an easy remedy that you can do this on yourself, by yourself. There's a lot of people currently in isolation because we're in different times right now than we've ever been as a society. And a lot of people they've got family stress. Sometimes they're with people that they have stress being around, but they don't have a choice because they got to be in the same house as they are. Sometimes they can't be near the people that they want to be with. Sometimes it's job-related stress, absence of job-related stress. Sometimes it's finance stress, whatever it is, or it's just need to turn off your TV stress, right? But either way, stress is stress. And if it's non-beneficial, an easy way to do a self-remedy is just simply either place your hands gently on your forehead, like so, throw a couple of fingertips. Again, you're straight above the center of the eyes, halfway between the eyebrows and the hairline. And just a gentle pressure, almost like the same amount of pressure as you would use if you were putting your fingertips on top of your closed eyelids. That much pressure, very light. And just a gentle tug up towards the hair, not down towards the eyebrows. And here's another great secret. Breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. In through the nose and out through the mouth. Breathing calms the body and does a lovely job of helping to shift energy. And it also shifts the nervous system into its calm state, which is known as parasympathetic. In a parasympathetic state, the nervous system creates the opportunity for the brain hemispheres to communicate. So remember how I said that the frontal lobes get shut down when you're under stress? Well, so does a structure called the corpus callosum. The corpus callosum is a very thick, dense network of white myelin fibers that goes from the same spot in the left hemisphere to the same spot in the right hemisphere. When you're not stressed, you got easy communication between left and right. When you're not stressed, you have easy communication between front and back. When you're not stressed, you have easy communication between bottom and top brain. The more stressed you are, the less kitchen cupboards you have to operate off. And the other ones have a padlock thrown on them. So this here, what it does, it helps to calm the nervous system to open up the communication pathways between left, right. So let's just talk about left, right for a second. An easy way to remember it is left brain. You can be left, you have the right brain. You have the right to be creative, right brain. So right brain is creative, emotional, or you can be left behind to think about it. And left is logical, right? So oftentimes when we get stressed, the only thing we have is emotion, and often not constructive emotion. And our vocabulary oftentimes gets reduced to not beneficial words to have somebody repeat back to you, right? So again, holding the forehead is a great way to calm things. And if you want to do the advanced version, having your hand on the back of the head, I'll just turn a little bit so you can see where I've got my hand. It's right on the back of the skull, right at the occiput. See it right there? And having your hands in this position, again, just a slight, very gentle contact and a lift up activates the reflex. But now what I'm doing is I'm bringing more blood flow to the frontal lobes of the brain, but also calming the back lobes of the brain, which are our stress storage survival response centers.
Mhm.
So one of the things that comes along with guys, oftentimes, especially for men with families, it comes along the provider gene. I found myself that as soon as I had children, the provider gene kicked in big time. It's like, I need to go work. I must make money. I got to support the family. I got to do all that that kind of pressure. There's a lot of men right now that can't work. There's a lot of women right now that can't work, and it's not under their own accord, their own choice, right? And that creates stress because you got to be able to support yourself. And if you have a family, it's your responsibility to support your family. Well, sometimes when we get stressed, our languaging and our ability and our threshold around those we care about most gets a little sharp. So this is a really nice way to keep yourself under control, but it's also a super lovely way to support those that you care about, whether it be your children, your spouse, your significant other, your friends, whoever it is that you feel may be experiencing stress. Simply cupping the front and back of their head, and this is quite easy to do when a person's sitting in a chair as you stand beside them. And you can either just have them speak out loud about the stress, have them think to themselves about the stress. You can be quiet yourself about it, or you can, if you have any intuition regarding like a little guided meditation about it, that's helpful. Ask them about what's going on, where they're feeling it in their body, and especially, and most importantly, remind them to breathe, especially in through nose, out through mouth, because that does establish the parasympathetic tone, which is calming and allows for the nervous system to calm, the brain to calm and think. So for men's health, if mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy. So sometimes the easiest way for guys to keep their stress out, keep the mama happy.
Yeah.
and and it it does help to lighten the load. Just to know something as simple as putting your hands on your forehead and breathe is such a lovely way to help.
Yeah, and even as simple as even, kind of putting the hand on the desk and stuff like that, sometimes we kind of go, oh, okay, do I do this in the office? And it's kind of going, so many times we're naturally doing this anyhow, and we're just kind of focusing and just being able to just hold those points and think about what's going on in our life and being able to allow the brain to process and give us a clear picture is so helpful. And I know that so many of the guys, especially when sometimes we coming up here on Father's Day as well, coming up. And so then there's that sort of added, pressure of kind of being a representative to your children and a role model, and then also a provider, that there can be a significant amount of stress about that. Sometimes we've had good role models in our lives and sometimes we haven't. And so then sometimes we feel like we're a little bit fluctuating on kind of going, how do I do this job? Especially as a father. And, also supporting that other significant person in our life, being able to support them through all of this. Sometimes we can feel bombarded by so much which is going on. So ESR is such a great technique, and helping our members recognize that give this tool to your clients, share it with people. It is such a simple tool and it's so easy. We have a hand, we have a head, we have these points, just connect the dots, literally, and allow your clients to actually be able to be self-responsible and help themselves. And I think that's one of the things that we truly need during this time is we need to be able to support, ourselves and support others. And being able to give those tools to someone is such a gift that we have. So I thank you, Greg, for bringing the importance to it and kind of helping us connect the dots on how important this is as a men's issue. So thank you.
A couple of things that brought to mind just as you're doing this. This one here,
Yeah.
when my kids were still in grade school, they're 20 and 22 now. But when they were still in grade school, I would say, you know what, when you're at your desk, having your hand just sort of supporting your forehead, what it does is it helps you stay present and helps you think. But because the act of learning involves both the left and right hemisphere, but as well the ability to keep the information in the forebrain, And oftentimes the act of learning and or the classroom situation can be stressful, right? Which then shifts energy away. And so anytime that they're doing homework or something like that, their dominant hand doing the writing, the note taking, and the other hand here on the forehead does a lovely job of sort of keeping them calm and present, but allowing for that left right brain information sharing.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
speaking of sharing and sharing with others, I've got some clients that are professionals in the psychology profession, and I've shared the ESR technique with them, and as well the frontal occipital holding, and they have gotten positive feedback from them sharing it with their clients as well, because
Yeah.
it's such a great, simple, easy help, easy helpful tool. And I've got thousands of hours of training in all kinds of really fancy, complicated stress relief techniques. And honestly, holding the head, whether it just be front or front and back, comes up multiple times a week because it covers so much territory regarding calming the body. It's quite lovely. It
Yeah.
turns stress into the smoothness of the hardwood floor in a bowling alley, minus the little grooves on the side to catch your ball.
I know sometimes as practitioners, I think, or as facilitators, that we forget sometimes those easy tools because it's so simple, right? It's kind
Mhm.
of like the wooden spoon that can do so many different things, and we forget that it's there. And so sharing it with our clients is such a big deal. So thanks so much, Greg, for your time and for being able to share the ESR emotional stress release tools with us this month. And I wish you guys all the best. And I say bye to everyone. And so thank you.
Thanks, Yolanda.
You're welcome.